I didn't think of filming the third video of this series this soon, but I was just thinking about this and I thought I should record. Actually, I thought of putting this as a 1 minute reel, like as a voiceover for my reel. But, rather I thought it's best to put it as a full form video because this cannot be explained in 1 minute or 2 minutes, right? It's going to take some time to explain things. Um, so, wait, I'll go bring my water bottle. Yeah. Um, so today's video is learning to fail, right? Um, you know, these are things that life doesn't teach you. Life or I mean, school doesn't teach you explicitly. You know, school actually, education system actually praises those who win, praises those who do well in life. People who excel in sports, who do this and that, are often praised, right? And there's this, I saw a reel today that made me rethink. And, I always question myself when I see certain reels. And this was one such reel. It basically said that if you fail, no one will know you know, no one will know or realize your hard work or something like that. Something of the similar sort, okay? I hope you understand what I mean. Um, so when I saw this reel, I thought to myself, okay, so let's say right now the current goal in my life is preparing for gate, or let's say getting placed, or figuring out what I want to do after college. So this is where what my brain is thinking, right? So let us say I'm preparing for gate, and I fail in gate, right? Um, okay, I fail in third year. So you might be like, okay, Jonah, it's fine. Do in fourth year. I fail in fourth year. Now what? Now comes the dilemma because your parents are going to not be fine with things. They are going to be asking you, what's up, what are you going to do? And now let's say I take a break here, and again I fail. Okay? And let's say even then I'm not able to crack. So I decide to take another break here, and again I fail. So now what? What? This 4 years or four attempts, is it just waste? Is it just waste of time, energy, money, you know, your what is it, your self respect? Is that it? Because I think it's more than that, right? I see, uh, you know, life, ever since I have started learning AI and ML, right? I start to see, actually, I don't like maths, but I started to see the small things in life which can be explained using some concepts of maths. That makes it very universal, that makes it very easy to understand. So if you're not from a max major, so you might have heard of these, differentiation, integration, and all of this, right? So let us say you're standing on a mountain, right? So it's a huge mountain, right? Huge as in very huge. Okay. So in this huge mountain, you are climbing the top. This is not a very steep top, Of course, no big mountain will have like a 90-degree top. No, it's going to be a gradual incline, right? So, in a gradual incline, the point at which you're standing will feel like a straight line, correct? So, that's what differentiation or that's what integration is all about, right? Max people will know what I'm talking about. So, now stand up, right? And look at the ground that you are standing on. Is it flat? I think it's most definitely flat unless and until you're standing on some gym ball or some trampoline or something. I think the ground is flat, right? But is it actually flat? No, it isn't. It's a globe, right? You know, Earth is not flat, it's a globe. It's globular. We are standing on a globe. So shouldn't it be curved like this? Why is it flat? Because we are in a very, 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 very small part of this entire earth, right? So it almost feels flat to us. So this is what differentiation and integration teaches us, right? And in maths, you find maxima, minima, correct? So let us say your below is increasing, you know, it increases, uh, and your below, your LHL is increasing, and your RHL is decreasing, then it means you are in a maxima, correct? Mathematically speaking, right? So it's like this, here it's increasing and here it's decreasing. So you're here, so you're at a maxima. This is what max is. But are you at a global maxima or at a local maxima? You're at a local maxima. Why? Because mathematically you cannot know whether you're at a global maxima or not without seeing the other points. Because there could be infinitely many other points, correct? So you might be wondering why I'm saying all this bluff, right? It's actually because to know something very, very crucial in life, right? Life is made up of several small events, and for us, right, everything would eventually make up our entire life, correct? But but everything that you learn out of these events and experiences is what makes your life even more beautiful. Let me give you a very personal example. I think some of you can relate to it. In India, we write an exam called JEE. Okay, so JEE stands for Joint Entrance Exam. For those who don't know, JEE is to get into prestigious technical universities in the country, like the IITs and the NITs, etc. Right? Indian Institute of Technologies, National Institute of Technologies. These are the most prestigious government technical institutes. It's like MIT and Stanford, but MIT and Stanford are private. These are government, right? So, pretty much in an Indian society, if you get into an IIT or NIT, your life is set. And I gave an exam of this sort. I prepared for 2 years in my 11th and 12th to give this exam, and I failed the exam. Right? I got 93 or 94 percentile. It was just barely above the, you know, cut off that year. And then I gave advanced, and then I failed advanced. I didn't get into an IIT, nor did I get into an NIT. By God's grace, I'm studying in a government college, but I didn't get into an IIT or an NIT, right? So now, is all the effort that I put in this 2 years, is all the money that my parents invested into me in this 2 years a waste of time? All the experiences, the people that I met, is it all waste? Is it all useless? Because I didn't make or I couldn't do well in an exam? Yes, that exam, failing that exam had its own consequences, like not being able to get into an IIT, right? Not being able to, you know, step on a ladder which could have potentially is the word to be marked, potentially taken me to a next step in the life, right? But does it mean that everyone who has cracked JE has succeeded in life? No, not really. Because if that is the case, every year thousands of students get into an IIT, right? NIT, IIT, triple IITs. So it means that every year there are people passing out of the same number or similar number. Let's say there are like 1,500 students who are taken into all IITs, all throughout India, all the IITs, all departments combined. 1,500 students are being taken every year. I don't know the exact number, I'm just giving it a rough guess. So that means that every year 1,500 students are passing out. Forget about MTechs or something, but 1,500 students are passing out. Let's say 1,000 students are passing out from IITs. Then it means that all these 1,000 students are guaranteed success in life. Is that true? Because success itself is a very relative terminology, right? Right. See, what I'm talking might feel like, you're just confusing this whole thing, right? It isn't, right? The thing is, we tend to associate a lot of value to certain things over more than the others. And we tend to overcomplicate life by saying that this will only take me to success. What I'm trying to say to you is, like the globe, right? Every time you take a step, you're not thinking of, oh, will the earth end? No, right? You just keep walking, hoping that the next step is also going to be flat, right? That's how I think life should also be taken as. You take life one step at a time, and how it leads you further is a different thing, right? Sometimes you have to, even though earth is flat, you might hit your leg against a boulder or a stone and hit your head and hurt your head, right? That doesn't mean it's the end of the world. You just dust off. You hurt your knee, you dust off and move on in life. And I think that's what learning to fail is all about. And you might wonder why this is a very big thing, because often, young adults who have constantly succeeded from a young age, right, tend to associate their academic success or success in certain things as the ultimate, uh, you know ultimate goal of their life. Like up until 10th standard, I was always in the top 5 of my class. In 11th and 12th, I was barely getting 40 marks in a 240 mark exam during my JE preparation. And I used to feel devastated. I used to cry after every exam at home. And my parents were worried that I would do something to myself. It is because I had not learned to fail all throughout my childhood. And GE tested me in a different way than I had been used to. Does that mean I was dumb? No, I am not. I don't think I'm dumb, right? I have the ability, I know that I have the ability to understand things in a different way, and JE tested a different type of skill which I was not able to, acquire, or I was not able to present, right? For whatsoever reason, right? It can be, I don't want to blame the reasons. I don't even worry much about not being able to crack the exam. I feel that it's just another exam that taught me a lot of things. It's just that I had to put a little more efforts than for the other exams. And I failed it, and it's totally fine, right? Try to kind of simplify things around in your life and try to move on with doing the next things. You can't be stuck up with one thing all the time and try to associate, or try to, you know, kind of pull strings and attach your emotions to you failing once means you failing all your life. That's not how it works, right? And people in IITs, not just IITs, I think people who have constantly achieved success, constantly, right? Who have never learned to fail or handle failure or handle criticism often tend to grow up into weak adults. I'm not saying a weak man or a weak woman, but weak adults in general. They might be looking all tough and all put together and, working at a great place, but deep down there is an insecurity in them that the day that they are not performing to their standard, they are losing. But that's not the case. It's okay to fail, and it is always okay to learn things. And that's something that you and I, who is growing up, should learn. And I think the education system doesn't teach you, because it keeps rewarding people who do well in academics or in sports or in culturals, right? So learn to learn that it's okay to fail. So the theme for today is learn to fail. I don't know what you will do or how you will do. I can't think of any method to suggest to you on how to learn to fail. But the best thing that happened to me was first sports, and second is JE. Because sports, everyone is a winner and everyone is a loser. And it all depends on the day you're in. You look at Virat, right? If you know cricket, you know Virat. If you know basketball, you know Kobe Bryant, right? If you follow tennis, you know Roger Federer or Novak Djokovic, right? If you follow football, you know Neymar, right? I think today is what day it is. I think today is 5th or 6th of July, and I think yesterday's match, Brazil versus Norway. Norway scored two, and Brazil scored one. And I don't watch football, so I can't comment much on the quality of players or how the game was because I didn't watch the game myself. But one thing I know is Neymar is a very well regarded and very highly praised player, right? Yesterday, not just he, but the entire team failed to win. Does that mean Brazil is a bad team? No, it doesn't mean. It's just one game, and one time the players failed, right? The team failed. And it is totally fine. I know the fans are disappointed. I know the players themselves are disappointed. The management is disappointed. Does that mean they're a failure? No. And come to think about Norway. Is Norway the best team in the world? No. They won a game and they know it themselves too. You know, in sports, everyone gets their day. Everyone. And everyone is a winner and everyone is a loser. And I think that's one of the best things that sports teaches you. So I would say that start doing sports. Any sport, right? You will to, you know, learn to lose. It's okay to lose. You know, losing and failing is a very relative term, right? um, for me, right, losing in JE is a win because I know even if I had gotten into an IIT, I couldn't have handled the pressure and stress and the unhealthy competition around in that environment, because I feel that human emotions and human connections matter way more than academics or doing well and getting a XLPA job or whatever. So I would have been very hurt. I would have, lost a lot of hair than how much I've lost now. So it's a win for me. But some people might still be wondering or thinking like, oh, my life went down because I didn't, do well in JE, or not just JE, right? Any exam. There's NEET UG, there's PG, there's CLAT, and there's so many exams, guys. Don't define or tag your life success. Life is so huge. How can you tag a life success by one part? It's like, how can you say a person can or cannot run a marathon based on whether or not they can walk or run 5 meters? Can you say whether someone is an athlete or whether someone has the capability to run a marathon based on their performance in a 5-meter race? No, you cannot, right? It can be the best of players, like best of athletes, or the worst of athlete, right? Either ways, 5 meters is way too small distance to define someone's, you know, big goal or big thing. It works the same with life as well. Don't define, don't define your big, big portions of your life, based on small events like exam, like breakup, like, not having good friends, uh, you know, your parents being mean to you. These are just small portions of your life. I'm not saying it doesn't even affect you, it does, but learn to handle it. And way to handle it is sports. To me, to you something else can be, but whatever it is, try it out. Yeah, cheers.